I'd like to ask you about the importance of the mental game.
Okay.
And like, for example, one of the ideas that I have in my mind as when I'm talking to people is that peak performance begins in the mind,
Mm-hmm.
and that your mental game can make or break your performance on the golf course.
100%.
So I'd like you to elaborate on that. Just
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, I look back on my life in golf, and I think that I had a pleasant, unrealistic belief in my ability. Being
me
honest,
too. Yeah,
you know what I mean? I
yeah.
mean, I think everybody,
Yours was probably much more grounded in reality than
but I
mine
mean,
was.
I just think you have to believe that you're good at it. Like you have to have this confidence, and some people don't, even though they might have amazing athleticism. And I see it all the time. I mean, I've had some amazing students in front of me, like very massively capable physical in all elements, but they don't have this belief. And I look back and I was the other way. I had the physical skills. Don't get me wrong. I had all the things lined up I needed to become a very good golfer. But I just always had this belief that I'm really good at it and I can beat you at it. And it's not because I want to be an arsehole. And I just thought that at the end of the round, I'm going to be shaking hands with you, and my score is going to be better
Yeah,
than your score.
yeah.
So, I had this unrealistic belief, and I think it's fantastic. Nowadays, it's different. It's different now because when I was a kid, there was no real way to measure speed, ball speed, club speed, ball speed,
Yeah.
your ability to deliver the golf club the same way 2 times in a row. So it was more like mystical belief. Nowadays, it's objective. Like I
Oh
can have
yeah.
a kid in front of me, and they know that they're faster than 70% of the tour players or 80% of the tour players. That's pretty darn confidence building.
Yeah.
If you get some kid athletically that's massively gifted to move a club really fast, there you can say, hey, here's Justin Rose. He's got a good fast driver swing speed, swings at 115. Pretty darn impressive. Way to go, Justin Rose. Oh, by the way, you swing at 125, kid. All right, so now you got such an advantage over Justin Rose. It's undeniable to where you can say, oh, that applied at the Masters this year. Justin Rose, who's a stud, lovely guy, as good as he gets, could not have hit a better drive on 18 in the playoff.
Yeah.
Nutted
That
it,
was perfect.
right?
Yeah.
He goes up, he's got, I don't know, 160 something, hits a perfect 8 iron right at the flag. It pitches this far in front of the flag. Could have hit the pin and went in. And it rolls, I don't know, 12, 15 feet past the hole. He could not have hit two better shots if he tried.
Totally.
Okay, it was the best performance. And then this Irish dude steps up, hits a driver, or I don't know who went first. I think it was Rory went second. I don't know. I can't remember. Bombs it past him
Roy went
40 or 50 yards because his physicality was allowed him to, because he's that much faster than Justin Rose. And then instead of hitting 8 iron, which is going to have a landing angle to release, he hits a lob wedge, not a lob wedge, a gap wedge that lands and basically stops dead. So the two guys made,
and then he missed the putt.
No, in the playoff he made it.
I know, but
Well, but I mean in regulation.
Yeah.
But Rosie missed the putt and Rory made it. But so objectively, if you you can prove to people how good they are through little micro wins nowadays, because you have the ability to do so with video and technology. Versus back in my day, I think my swing got recorded when I was a kid, maybe once or twice.
Yeah.
Like there's no video. There's none.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, I know it. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hate to date ourselves, but I think between the two of us, we have over 100 years of golf experience.
There you go. Yeah.
And no cameras. So here's the point. This means a lot to me. I wanted to give you a chance to touch on this. So what's your take when someone's out playing golf and they want to improve their golf game and play to the best of their ability and have fun?
Mm-hmm.
What's your take on managing their expectations, and how do you help golfers find the sweet spot between caring at all or trying and trying too hard? Like find the sweet spot of expectation.
Yeah. So, I always say you're going to get one of three outcomes: good, bad, or indifferent. Now, a round of golf is lovely when you get good shots and indifferent shots kind of mixed in there and very few bad shots. unfortunately, the game's pretty damn hard. And then, I got off the phone with a lovely old guy today who played golf all his life and says he's getting worse. Well, because his body is just failing him. It's not the same body he had. Unfortunately, we don't get physically more gifted typically. What I'd say to golfers is, since golf is a game separated by moments in time, like 5 minute intervals, 4 or 5 minutes, whatever, between shots, the real key is the decision you make and the routine you use. So decision making, long par four, simple decision, hit driver. Okay, but if you are, quote, a straight ball hitter or you play a curve, how you stand on a tee box and choose where you're going to kind of send that thing, that's a tactical choice. Like playing with a student the other day, he likes to, quote, hit it straight. That's still a mild curve, but I said, okay, fine. We're at the Raven, where I run my primary golf school, and the third hole's got a road on the left. Well, aiming straight from the middle of the tee box down that road, aiming straight from the middle of the tee box down the hole, any pull might be pulled enough to maybe go out of bounds. So my point to him was, listen, you can't ruin your round with an out of bounds. Now, some courses are just out of bounds everywhere, and it's like a cat in a room of rocking chairs. You're going to get your tail rolled on, and hit one sideways that might go out of bounds. But in this hole, if he wants to hit a straight ball, that's fine. Fairway's here. Let's go to the left side of the tee box so he can aim his straight, a little biased to the right center, right third of that fairway. So he does hit the pole, because nobody's perfect. Maybe that pole stays in bounds and it's fine. Or if he flares it to the right on this particular hole, there's some trees that you can play out of easily. Just helping people make a conscious decision of, make a good decision that's in your favor, and then help with a solid routine, because I'm a big teacher of routine.
I was just going to bring that up. So,
Yeah.
And that's an important part of the mental game, I would say, is to have a good routine that enables you to envision the shot.
Yeah.
And a mantra that I recently came across that I'm experimenting with incorporating into my own work is, starting in the thinking box, crossing up into the playing box.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you're in the playing box and you're over the ball and you're set and you're ready to go, this mantra I have is see it, feel it, and trust it.
Sure. Yeah, it's great. I mean, ultimately, I want people, like you said, think box, play box is kind of coined phrase from Pia Nielsen and Lynn Marriott, great coaches, and they have golf camp in Scottsdale. Love those ladies. Mm-hmm. And the whole thing is, make your choices behind the ball and then go be an athlete, and so yes. I do it a little differently. I tell people that they want a primer swing, which is a fancy word for practice swing. The primer swing, it brings back somebody to a historical moment, meaning whether it's success on a range in a field or a drill, or it's a feel from a golf course from years ago or yet last week, doesn't matter. Can you connect to some historical success? Because most people, you don't go play golf unless you have a history of shots that you can draw on, meaning no newbie walks out there. And if they do hit good shots, good, they've got one for their history to tuck away in their brain to pull on at some point. Because everybody's melted a driver. Good, what'd that feel like? When did you do it? Good, that's a thought. So while you're kind of checking to make sure your shirt's not sticking you on a sweaty day, or, your shoulder's not glitchy, after 5 minutes of not making a swing, that primer swing is drawing on a historical moment. So then when you have that little reminder, there's a good history. Now we stand there, we choose where we kind of want to start the ball. And as you're walking in, you're creating all your elements to build a good golfer before you even get to the golf ball. And then when you get over the golf ball, like you say, look, go, and then go. Don't waste time over it.
Nice. I think I was guilty of this myself because I didn't have coaching or training back when I was coming up,
mm-hmm.
Of not having a routine.
Mm-hmm.
And as far
as
you
had one.
I'm sorry?
You had one. It just wasn't something that
okay.
made it
okay.
consciously peaceful for you.
All right. Well, what I meant to say, though, is that I didn't recognize the importance of developing consistency
mm-hmm.
and envisioning the shot first and so forth. So moving on.
Yeah.
What's the most important thing you would tell someone who feels stuck in their improvement journey?
If you're stuck in your improvement journey, like the doors are all closed and you feel like, okay, you don't know where to go from there, that's when I would do a little research and get a decent coach. Because typically, what people want when they come see me or my guys is just inspiration to take the right door, so they have fun in their development. Because people love to develop. I mean, that's to me the key of life is like little developments. And so if you have a decent coach, they're going to give you, hey, here's a few simple things you can do to develop. So when you do go practice, you're just not wasting time, exercising. You are exercising, but you are seeing little micro wins. And so some of that can be just you just didn't know really what technique to work on. Maybe you thought you did. Um, or maybe you thought you were doing it right and you weren't. And you just needed a mentor to suggest it and show you and kind of prove to you, hey, you can do it better. Here's how. So once you have that door open up for you, that's fun again, and then that's people want that.
Okay, so that's a source of hope.
Yeah.
Finding a good coach.
Yeah.
And I'm going to point out here, for the benefit of our listeners, that there's a difference between going to a coach versus taking yourself and you going to a driving range and telling the pro what you think is wrong and what you need to fix. Would you like to elaborate on that?
Man, I tell you what, sometimes I'll get that personality. They'll come to the range and they'll say, "Well, I know I got to do this." I'm like, buddy, please, let me just watch you. Though that fella that thinks that way, it's a massive distraction for the person that they're actually paying to help them. I don't want you to tell me what you're doing wrong, because half the time you don't know what you're doing wrong. Just let me watch. I've been doing this a while, and good coaches have been doing it a long time. Let them watch, let them listen, hit a few balls. They're going to go through their kind of way of gathering their information through video, maybe launch monitor or other ways, pressure mats, whatever they do. Every coach has their toolkit. They like to create their argument. And so that's what a coach will do, create an argument, meaning that they'll try to put together their supportive ideas and why they're going to ask you to potentially change. Because I want every student to hold me in contempt. I want every student to challenge why do you want me to do that? Well, this is why. Oh, okay. So I want to prove to you that, this is why I'm asking you to make this change, so you believe in it. So yeah, those people that quote know-it-all are interesting. And then sometimes I'm pretty harsh with them. I'll say, hey, listen, buddy, you suck at golf.
Yeah.
And you can continue to suck at golf, or you can strip the ego away and let me help you a little bit. It's up to you. And half the time, those people that their ego is so strong, they won't get any better at golf.
Okay. Yeah, I think, what do you say to the people? This may be the same thing, but people say, I took lessons, I upgraded my equipment, I got custom fitted, I went to a school, I watched videos, I've tried and tried and tried to get better, and now I'm even worse. But where do those people find their hope to get?
Yeah, so they
get back on track.
So here's when I hear that, like typically, how do you get any good at anything? Think about it. If you're really good at something, there was a playful learning environment, and that playful learning environment typically happens when you're a kid, meaning it's fun. You play the game for fun. Maybe you suck at it, but your peers that you're around you're having a good time. You're seeing incremental wins as a kid. Now, if you're as an adult, we don't usually have that playfulness, and you're trying to like make better happen. You're gonna grab better by the horns, and damn it, you're gonna get good at it, rather than the playful development, the what ifs, how abouts. Meaning, could you go to the range with a good tutor, mentor, and the mentor might point out something that can help reduce the chaos. Okay, that's what you want from a good coach. And then can you maybe step back from being that absolute intolerant adult asshole that you might be, to be a little bit more playful in that, hey, what happens if I grip it with the face shut and hit one? Where'd the ball go? What happens if I grip it with the face open and hit one? Where'd the ball go? How might I make it go a little lower? How do I make it go a little higher? And then share those experiences with your mentor coach the next time out. Be open-minded. Maybe ask them if they're to demonstrate, because I think any teacher should be able to demonstrate pretty well. So if you come at it from a playful-minded way to go, what you'll realize is you can't exactly do anything like the coach really wants you to do. You have to internalize it your own way using their suggestions, but you got to make it your own. So to the person that goes, gets all the gear and takes a bunch of lessons and still sucks, the problem lies in you, the person, rather than going, okay, how do I playfully do this? And you got to remember, there's golfers that enjoy the game differently. I've known many golfers that their enjoyment of golf isn't golf, it's hitting balls at a range. So that's not golf, that's just exercise. And they like that, and that's fun for them, hitting balls. I have no problem with that.
I love short game practice.
Okay, and so maybe there's a sport, well, Top Golf. You can go to Top Golf, and you can literally, a story one time when Top Golf first opened in Scottsdale, maybe it's been open maybe 6 months. I hadn't been there yet. Some guy asked me to go meet him there about a business thing. So I go there, and I meet, there's two people. I actually know the other guy, so it's fun. We just go, we're BSing, and he's showing me this game he plays in a league at Top Golf. Okay, so I'm playing this game, and the other guy's a former pro golfer and me, and the guy's pretty competent that's kind of talking about this business deal. And anyway, we play, and we have a beer, and we go home. Nothing, right? So a year later, a student comes up to me and says, hey, you're still leading in that game. You're still the top point getter in that game. I'm like, what are you talking about? He goes, oh, at Top Golf in Scottsdale. I'm like, what? What do you mean? He goes, well, didn't you go to Scottsdale and play in Top Golf? I go, yeah, I was there like with a dude, and well, I didn't know it was like playing Pac-Man, and and you get a top score and your initials stay at the top. Okay. I didn't know that. Anyway, a year later, so I'm playing this game for fun with these two dudes, and I happened to beat two dudes. Whoop-de-doo, like we had a good old time, and my score was good, and hit shots at a target, and whatever. So that could be a game for somebody that they really enjoyed, and my score stood up, I guess, for a long time. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, didn't know. Like it could have been beaten that afternoon, but it stood up for a long time. So people can enjoy the game of going to the range. They might enjoy the wild ride of actually playing golf. Now, I like looking at golf this way, and I think while I've created a great business for myself, coaching the game in the format of practice on a range, that's not how the thing was intended, I'm afraid. The game was meant to be played. It was meant to be grab a stick, get a ball, whack it around. Robin Williams' expression, it's the best damn thing ever, right? It's the funniest thing. I love it. He's got his PG version and his adult version of it.
And you just do it once.
And you just do it, 18 effing times, right? Right? So funny. Yeah. So in the old days, if you wanted to hit balls, guess what? You took your own balls, a shag bag, you went to some field and you hit them. Guess what you did? The first few times you hit them all over the hell's half acre out there, okay? Yeah. And then you had to go get them, come back, and guess what happened? Your dispersion started to get better and better and better and better. And so practice was something way more meaningful when you had to go get your own golf balls.
Yeah. I heard Tom Lehman practices that way, that he starts hit them all right up the middle and just keeps putting them further out. And so when he goes to pick up his balls, it's right in a straight line.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah.
Way to go, Tom.
Yeah, way to go, Tom. So you told us your favorite course was
the National in Toronto. Yeah.
Okay. What are some of your top favorite courses in the U.S.?
Oh, I just got to play Pine Valley a couple of weeks ago. That was an awesome treat. Wow, was that ever cool? Hard course. Oh my gosh.
Which tees did you play?
We played the member tee, which is 6,500 yards, which is plenty of golf for me now. I mean, I don't hit it very far anymore. Okay. The back tee would be massively intimidating, and I'd say, maybe, if I was, in top golfing shape, I'm not, but I could probably tackle it, but I want to go play, have fun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if I drive it, maybe, if I hit a good one, I hit a 285, maybe 300 if I nut it, 260, somewhere in that zone. Back in the day, I'd hit it a lot, I don't know, I hit it a little farther. So I say play tees where you're going to enjoy the golf course.
Oh, yeah.
Don't let your ego, even though I play professional golf, I'm not going to go back there and beat my head in. I want to hit it to where I'm not taking a head cover off for my second shot on a par 4. I mean, Bernard Langer said that in the Masters this year. He goes, my last Masters. And he's the best, arguably the best golfer ever. Think about it.
All
Over
right, he's
longevity.
awesome.
I mean, who's been better? He's won a couple Masters. He's won a bunch of pro tournaments, and he's played completely high level golf. And he's 67, and he shoots his age regularly on professional golf courses.
Yeah,
crazy.
have you heard of that uh, rule of thumb about take your 5 yard carry distance by 36, and that gives you your yardage, your playing yardage?
No,
Okay,
but yeah. I mean, here's the deal. I'd say, if you drive the ball 250 yards, okay, play the white tees. If you drive the ball 275, play the blue tees. If you hit it over 300 yards, play the back tees.
Okay,
That's
a good rule of thumb.
You know what I mean?
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So top courses besides Pine Valley?
Oh, Cypress for sure.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
So do you carry the 16th?
Oh, what did I do? Oh, so 16. Oh, yeah. No, I played good that day. I shot 69. I bogeyed 16, though. I hit, my caddy wanted me to hit 4 wood, and I didn't listen. I hit 2 iron, and I hit a nice 2 iron, like right at it, and it came up a couple yards short in the front bunker, hit it to 10 feet and missed it. So, I don't know. It was just, back in the day, I had a Callaway 2 iron, and I could smoke it. And I smoked it. It was just a little into the wind. I think it was like 220 carry, and just got held up a tick, but I was pleased with the shot. And my 4 wood, it's obviously one of the coolest holes ever. You hit it over this ocean, and
Yeah.
the green sits out there.
The heroic carry.
There's a sissy ridge on the left you can bail out to. Yeah. And I mean, and there's nothing wrong with sissy ridge on any of those holes, because you got to be a mature enough golfer to recognize that a bogey won't kill you. Like if I would have flared one to the right into the ocean, like I don't know how many countless thousands of golfers must have done at Cypress. Now you're back on the tee hitting 3. Now your heart's going to be about like, oh no, now what do I do? You may run out of golf balls in that hole. And so, I played it on a pretty nice day, pretty benign, little bit of wind. I mean, you're on the ocean, there's always going to be a little wind, but there's no shame in just kind of popping it over to the left and chipping it on and maybe making par that way, or just 2-putting, making a 4. But there's, you can make a real mess of certain holes if you're trying to be a hero.
Okay. Speaking of being a hero, 18th at Pebble.
18th at Pebble. Only played Pebble once. Didn't have my best day. I was, I don't know, I think I shot like 76 or something. I hit it. I hit an okay drive. I couldn't get there in 2. So I just laid up, hit a wedge on, and I birdied it, though. So that was good. Nice. But my playing partner was a good hitter. He smoked one and had 5-iron in and knocked it in the middle of the green, 2-putted for birdie. So both made the same score. I kind of heeled mine on the fairway right. He hit a perfect draw, and there's this tree out there that's about 270. Yeah. And he hit it, well past that tree where I was kind of closer to that tree, a little to the right of it.
Okay. How about a couple of my favorites, Whistling Straits? Have you?
Yeah, I played it a few times. Yeah, I mean, it's a wild one. It's certainly visually intimidating, and so you can't let the distraction of what's around the simple goal of going A to B get in your way. And that's, for a lot of people, it's the visual distractions create unnecessary challenge. I mean, ultimately, your goal is to hit a ball solidly from A to B, and not necessarily exactly in a pinpoint being B, but just within a fair range or where it can land, a dispersion pattern that works. And at Whistling Straits, there's plenty of, it's fair. You just can't get overwhelmed by the lake and the crazy dunes and all the other stuff that can be going on.
Speaking of dunes, how'd you fare with the bunkers at Pine Valley? Did you get into any challenges?
Yeah, I had a couple of challenging bunker shots, but nothing crazy. Trying to think if I had any. I had more tricky pitch shots than bunker shots, meaning I missed greens and I was kind of like handcuffed because of where I was on grass, not bunkers. Bunkers to me are easier for me to manage my ball because I can spin it a bit more. Sometimes on like little nested grassy lies, all you can do is hit one kind of shot, so there's not many options.
Gotcha. So who in all of history, I have my answer, it has your favorite golf swing?
Oh, in all of history, I'd say, I
Well, I
mean,
mean, in the modern era with
well, I mean, Rory
still.
McIlroy's got just an unbelievably
Yeah,
powerful rhythmic swing,
yeah.
and more kids are looking that way. I mean, I love Ludwig Oberg's swing. Historically, Mickey Wright had a beautiful swing.
Yeah, she's
George
amazing.
Knudson, obviously my coach, had a great swing.
Did he have some similarities to Mo?
No,
No,
no.
because
The only similarity George and Mo had together is that if you were a flag pin, if you were the pin, you should be nervous because they both were very, very accurate. And so Mo was a unique fella who had mild sort of personality in challenge, maybe like super shy
yeah,
until he got to know you. Then if he got to know you, he'd be okay with you. But if he didn't know you, I mean, he might treat you
sure,
like you weren't even in the room. He
yeah,
wouldn't even look at you.
yeah. I felt like when I was watching George Knudson, I was watching all his stuff on YouTube
Mm-hmm.
to prepare for this interview. That he had the big swing, and then he would always rebound,
Recoil, yeah,
and it kind of reminded me of like the way Mo Norman always would point his club at the
yeah. Yeah,
target.
Mo would, do this thing, but it
Yeah,
wouldn't point at the target. He'd kind of like, go back up in space up
yeah,
there, so, Mo was definitely, I would feel very confident in saying the most accurate hitter ever.
yeah. I didn't have the pleasure of seeing him live, but I know you did. Um, what do you know now that you wish you could tell yourself when you first started teaching?
Started teaching.
Yeah.
Um, what do I know now man, that's a good one. What do I
Good
know
to be on the
now?
hot seat today.
Yeah, no, it's a good question. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think I am way more aware of the human in front of me as far as what they're physically capable of.
Mm.
I think that when I was younger, I just expected everybody's body to work.
Yeah.
And now that I'm 56 and my body's got some, had some issues,
Yeah.
and you know, you go through life and you realize like, hey, that tackling football when you're 14
Right. Oh yeah.
sneaks up on you when you're 50.
Uh huh. Yeah.
You know,
Oh yeah.
so there's certain things like that. Maybe carrying those extra 30 or 40 or 60 or 80 pounds,
Yeah.
may not help your golf swing.
Yeah.
So I do my best with the person in front of me. Like, you have a toolbox. That toolbox is not human. Okay, like how do you let that, how do you get that toolbox to move a golf club and have good outcomes so that they understand the way they can do it? Some people, joints wise, are immobile. But they can still have fun playing golf. Maybe they won't shoot sub 80 rounds, but they can advance the ball solidly. I always think people can strike it solidly. Now, maybe it won't go 300 yards in the air, but they can strike it solidly. And solid strikes are the drug of golf.
Yeah.
And so that's my goal. I have grace for the human way more than I did when I started because I just thought everybody moved okay.
Nice. Nice. That's an amazing observation. I wouldn't have gone there, but as soon as you said, I'm like, of course, that makes such good sense. That can only come from being a pro like yourself. So you can answer this either as a player or a teacher, but what's the hardest lesson you've ever had to learn about golf?
Um, the hardest lesson that trying doesn't help you. Okay, like you can't go. I played all sports and I could try in hockey. I could literally decide to bear down and back check harder, and I could be more physical and I could try harder in hockey. That was easy. So you could have a good game a variety of ways in hockey. You could play. You might get a few points. You might get a sweet goal. You might, set up some nice plays. Or if you weren't feeling it in your skill that day, because it's like anything else. Sometimes you got hands, sometimes you don't. And hockey's that way. But you could back check like crazy. You could be in the right place at least. You could fill in the gaps of a good game a variety of ways. In golf, you can't. In golf, you could do everything right and play terribly because you. That's the thing of it, is that you got to be okay with the fact that one, you're blessed to play the game. Two, you're blessed to play the game. Three, a mild miss on a golf shot, I'm talking, 10% miss,
Mm-hmm.
just like dispersion wise, it might create a bad bounce, and then you might be handcuffed to make a double bogey. Okay, you can, cry about it, or you can just kind of move on and stay with the same theme of making good choices, doing your best to make your best swing. And you're going to have your good days and bad days no matter what. You're going to have good days when you don't even deserve it, because I've had plenty of those. And you're going to have bad days when you feel you deserved a good day. And that's the hardest thing about golf. I mean, that's the hardest lesson.
Okay. All right. So I know you've studied all the legends of the game and some of the best players and
I'd
some of
say.
the best teachers.
Yeah, good handful.
All that being said, what do you think they understood or understand about golf that most amateur players miss, that they don't quite get it?
Hmm. You know, when you have a great player, typically, they usually have in a lot of ways, they're blessed physically, eye-hand coordination wise.
Yeah.
I'd say a good player has the ability to duplicate. They can look at something and they can quickly copy something. Meaning, like, one of my hysteric frustrations in teaching the game is I can show you how to grip a golf club, and then you can go, what, like this? I go, no, like this. You go, what, like that? No, like this. Oh, like this? No, like this. Oh, like this? No, like this. Oh, I get it. No, like this. Oh, so it's the funniest thing, because one day, I'm getting a little off topic here, but my mom last year, she'll be 92. She goes, 2 years ago, dear, what's wrong? Oh, mom, it's a tough day at work. What do you mean? Well, it's just teaching. And I thought, mom, and I had this thought. My mom's never golfed, never had a golf ball in her life. She had a, golfing husband and a golfing son. I said, Mom, let me show you something. So I always have a golf club around. I said, let me show you how to grip a club. So I put her hands on it, and just the way I wanted to see them. And then I said, take a look, Mom. Feel that? She's like, yeah. I said, hand me the club. Okay, she gave me the club and said, now do it yourself. And she went, oh, like this, dear? And I'm like, exactly like that. Thank you, Mom.
Has your definition of success, has it changed over the years? And how would it be different now from what it used to be when you were first starting?
I couldn't be more successful, is what I would tell you.
Yeah, I would agree with you.
Well, and here's what I would say then. I don't have a jet. I don't have a Ferrari. I don't have lots of stuff, nor do I care. I have this little time on this world. I'm having a flipping great time with my wife and my kids and my friends. And to me, I've won. If I turn off tomorrow and I'm in the pearly gates, which I believe in, I'm going to be like, high fives all around. This has been an amazing adventure.
Oh, yeah, you're a role model for me. God bless you, man.
Well, thanks, man.
And
it's not about
amazing life. I know if you won $10 million, it wouldn't change your life one bit.
It wouldn't change me. I might go do, like, I don't know, what would I do? I'm trying to think. I'd like to go on a safari, maybe. Maybe go to Africa and take a couple weeks and do one of those cool safaris. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what I do what I want to do anyway.
Yeah.
And what I do is kind of what I do. So I'm pretty darn lucky.
Awesome. So I know you have a magic wand.
I do.
And if I have one too. And if you could take your magic wand and give every amateur one improvement instantly, what would it be?
One improvement instantly for an amateur is just, I mean, I could get into golf technique, but I swear the mindset of just enjoy, just take a breath and have a gratitude for the fact you even get to do this. Because, this world, we live on this thing, if you get to golf, you're blessed. Think about it. If you get to golf, you're blessed.
Yeah.
So just have an appreciation for that moment. So the lesson would be gratitude. And then we can get into technique after that. But gratitude would be the lesson.
Okay. This may be the same question in a different way, but if your kids or your grandkids asked you what golf really taught you about life, what would you tell them?
That there's been very few perfect rounds. Like, I've had a couple of rounds in my life where from like the first tee to the 18th tee was a smooth event. Okay. And so that basically like mirrors life, and that good luck having smooth anything go your way. So the more you can deal with stuff that comes your way and not freak out and take a breath and go, okay, I lost my job, or whatever happened, I got in a car wreck, or somebody close to me passed away. I always say, okay, where's the silver lining in this? And there is always one. You can't see it right away sometimes. Emotion's in there, trust me. But there's something in there. Even when you lose somebody, like losing George Knudson or my dad, or, it's like, well, wow, okay, it was such a great dad. I mean, is he dad of the year every year? Hell no. But was he supportive and loved me and we had a great time and lots of laughs? Heck yeah. And so in every little thing, what little lesson can you take away, or what can you learn from that situation?
Awesome. Yeah, there's always no matter what happens, there's a reason for it, and you can find that reason and make sense of it.
Every golf shot you hit is perfect. Every golf shot you hit is perfect. It goes exactly where it was supposed to go.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah.
I mean, it does.
All right.
May not go where you want it to go, but it was perfect.
All right, cool. So we're almost at the finish line here. What's your dream foursome?
Oh, 100% my dad. If a dream foursome, I would say it would be my dad, my uncle, and then probably George Knudson. That would be it. That'd be fun. Because, I'd be on a team probably with my dad. George would have to play with Uncle Sam. He's a bit of a sandbagger, so we'd have to negotiate the handicap a little bit. Then we'd have a hell of a time. It'd be a good time.
Okay. And what course would you play?
The National.
Okay.
Yeah, in Toronto.
All right. And what?
Oh, no, I wouldn't play the National. I'd play Flemington Park, the Muni. Just that would be even better because the National's hard. The Muni's easy, it'd be more fun.
Okay. Awesome. And then what during that round of golf, what would you hope to feel or take away from it?
Just laughter, brotherhood, just the emotions of, the folks that were important to you. Okay. That stuff, yeah.
Cool. So that's the end of my prepared questions, but I really wanted to develop more the idea of how important the mental game is, especially in terms of having the pre-shot routine and following it religiously, and it helps you stay grounded in between shots. It gets you recentered and sets the stage for success.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, like a brand new golfer has kind of no idea what the importance of a routine is. So, a brand new golfer's got this thing on the ground. They don't even know what club to choose. They really don't know how far their ball is going to go.
Sure. So
they don't really have a history of choosing a historic moment that they can apply. And I know it sounds crazy to say historic moment, but I'll give you an example. Like a historic moment might just be, in the past, I know with pretty good certainty that if I hit a solid shot with this club, it's going to fly this far. So when you get on the golf course and that presents itself to you, you go, okay, this might apply. Now, there might be a 20-mile-an-hour wind in your face, so you might do a bit of math in your head and go, okay, well, the shot that goes 150 might apply perfectly to this 125-yard shot. So maybe they choose the 150 shot based on history. You see what I'm saying?
Sure.
And so then you go, okay, how do I calm myself into this moment to where I can put away my talking about the sports, family, or whatever, just kind of zoom into, okay, where's my target? What does it feel like? That was a historic feeling that I'm about to take and put into this present moment to hopefully have the outcome I want. So, you go, okay, historical value, this sensation, okay, it applies to this. Maybe you take into account some wind and things and make those tweaks you need for that. Then to walk in and do your best to execute it. And hey, way to go if you do it, or if you don't, what can you learn from it? Did you trust yourself in the moment? Did you freak out a little bit? And then just say, okay, man, I could have done better. Or that was great. Give yourself a pat in the back. You know, you can be a little disappointed in yourself. You want to get over that quickly, and then that's the golf. You just keep kind of doing it, and the next shot's the most important one. Obviously, the one behind you can't fix it, and the shot you just hit was absolutely perfect. So whatever you did made it absolutely perfect. Now you might get a goofy bounce off of a mound or something, but you still made it absolutely perfect.
Yeah, and even a bad bounce gives you the next shot's opportunity to hit the best shot of your life.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if I didn't say this at the beginning, I want to reiterate that Martin Chuck is my favorite golf instructor. I've been tracking him and following his work for 12 years, and I've never met a better golf teacher, and I've studied several. And I love his work. And if you're not familiar with his work, I invite you to check it out at tourstriker.com. So you can learn about his golf academy, and you can learn about his training aids and his training gear. He's quite an inventor to help you with products that'll help you improve your golf game. And perhaps most important of all, if you go to tourstriker.com, you can register to take lessons with Martin personally. And if you ever do, you'll be glad that you did, because he's amazing. So I wanted to put that out there for you.
Appreciate it.
But otherwise, is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, I mean, again, just remember, if you play golf, you just, I don't know, like life lesson, you go to bed at night, be grateful for what you have, and you'll always be happy. I mean, honestly, just this cycle of positive momentum will happen for you. That sounds nuts, but everybody gets roadblocks, and but if it's, we're not why me, why this happened. Just, hey, we're here for a short time. Make it the best time. Live through gratitude. You'll have a great time.
So our big takeaway then is to have the gratitude for being able to play golf.
Oh, yeah.
And to have fun out there.
Amen.
Right? Awesome.
Hey,
Martin, thanks so much for the interview.
Thank you, buddy. Cheers.
Awesome. Cheers.